What's up, everybody? It's me, Walter Swilmy, representing Neo Defective Gaming once again, aka Neo Defective. It's been a while. I'm actually post COVID. I have another COVID. I've been COVIDing for the last few days. It's been a tough week. My entire family got it. We took my kid to the park, and he might have drank out of the public water fountain. If you guys didn't know, though, you can find me over on twitch.tv/neodefective every weekend, usually in the demon hours, being 11, 12 in the morning, PM, Pacific Standard Time, West Coast. Or you can find me over on TikTok at neodefective, Twitter at neodefective, where I've been spending all my time trying to perfect it. And I still can't do it, guys. I'm not evil enough. In the world of video game news, we have one of the biggest announcements of 2022, okay? I've been spending a lot of time, if you haven't caught me here on YouTube, making TikTok videos, and not actually really, I've been spending a lot of time playing Elden Ring, okay? Elden Ring, for a while, was hands down going to be considered Game of the Year 2022. There was no contenders. The only contenders that were thought to be, that were even going to be considered, were God of War Ragnarok, if it was going to be released this year, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, if that was going to be released this year. Well, one of those took a back seat. My prediction was that both God of War Ragnarok and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild were going to take back seats. But little did I know, Sony Santa Monica was going to pull the curtain out from over all our simple little brains and drop a bombshell of a release date, a projected release date still. They say November 9th, 2022, which is practically right around the corner. And it's gotten everybody up in arms, right? Now, I don't know if you know this, but I love competition. When I get a little hint of competition, I get a little saucy. I start feeling it. I start digging deeper into what's going on and how this is going to affect video games going forward. Now, a lot of people don't like the console wars. I don't like the console wars. I'm over that. That's a younger man's game. I'm not into that, all right? That was 2-3 generations ago. Everybody cared about that. People still care, but you shouldn't. That's no longer a thing. There's so much cross play, and everything's getting released on PC now, from PlayStation. On everything on Xbox is on PC. So there's that, and there's really no more console wars any longer. It's just a matter of, can you even get one? Now, when it comes to video game conflict, I eat this stuff up. I don't know if you know about this. Now, the thing about competition is that it breeds better competition. So without that, people would kind of stagnate on the things that they make. So this is good. Competition is good. Now we have two heavy hitters. We have Elden Ring that was released February 25th, 2022. All right. Game of the Year up to this point. Now we have God of War with the projected release date of November 9th, 2022, right for the holidays. Now, I'm going to try to get into all the nuances of what is going to probably be Game of the Year. And if I was to predict these things, I haven't played God of War. We all haven't played God of War. But when we do, that's when we'll have a better understanding of where these two heavy hitters are going to lie. FromSoft's Elden Ring, Sony Santa Monica's God of War Ragnarok. So here's the thing about this. We live in a society of what have you done for me lately, okay? I know that right now, as of this moment, July 9th, 2022, that Elden Ring is my personal game of the year. I play it still off stream. I play it on stream. amidst other games that I play on stream. But the one I keep going back to is Elden Ring. It's a cultural phenomenon. You had people playing it that would normally never play any FromSoft game. It's FromSoft's biggest breakout, highest selling title that they've ever released. It does nuances to the open world. It takes that Breath of the Wild formula. If you've never played Breath of the Wild, if you've never played Elden Ring, it takes this open world formula and makes it so if you look in any direction, there's 3 different things that are going to catch your attention, and those 3 different things are going to have their own little adventure. It doesn't matter if it's a tree that you can collect, a light pointing in a certain direction, or an actual enemy, NPC that you can go attack. There's always going to be 3 different things, no matter where you look 360 degrees. It's such a good formula. On top of that, using all the base qualities of a FromSoft title, like the actual combat system, the actual stat system. It really just, I mean, they added a jump button, okay? That's 10 out of 10 material right there. That's 10 out of 10 material right there. 10 out of 10. Jump buttons, those are good buttons. But now we live in this world of what have you done for me lately? Our attention spans are so minuscule, right? How much of Elden Ring's sauce are we gonna remember? How much of everything that it did, all the magic, all the people that came along and bought this game, how much are they gonna remember of it by the time God of War rolls around? See, this is the game that politicians play. This is the game that Sony Santa Monica is playing. Now, I'm not saying and talking negative about Sony Santa Monica. I love them. They're a quality studio. They do everything fantastic. I bought all their video games. I spent thousands of dollars on Sony Santa Monica material. What I'm simply saying is they're doing something that's very wise. Very wise in that Cory Barlog put out a tweet in response to a tweet that I won't even mention that person because they don't deserve it, because they're just attention seekers. But what he did, Cory Barlog, put out a tweet saying, I feel like we thought a lot about what date is best and chose the best date for the team, the game, and the fans. We know it's going to get quality AAA attention from Sony Santa Monica. It is a beast of a title. It's going to have a much better narrative as far as told to the audience directly from the cast members. You're not going to have to read about anything for the people that don't necessarily like that about FromSoft's titles, where you kind of have to read about every booger, crack in a wall. I mean, if somebody scratched a table, FromSoft kind of goes, oh, there's a story there, right? You can peel back the onion, and there's going to be layers to it. Where the God of War narrative is up front. They have background stuff that might add to the story, such as like a description of a weapon or little nuanced things that you might find throughout the game, such as yellow, golden things that are meant for you to stumble across. Very obviously. The team over at Sony Santa Monica does a very good job of making sure everything's presented to you in a very Western way. Like, everything's just brought to your attention. It's brought to you. You don't have to go searching for it, which makes for, depending on the person, a better narrative-driven experience. It is very much that first. I would say gameplay second. It's going to be a fantastic title, and I can't wait to play it. I really can't. But what I'm getting at here is that with all that being said, how much are we going to forget about what we did within Elden Ring? From the first time you picked it up, when you got lost inside the title, when you went to that first, second, third, 20th cave, when you found the best armor that you wanted, when you got the ending that you wanted, when you didn't get the ending that you wanted, when you became all powerful, right? When you became Elden Lord, how much of that are you going to remember when God of War comes around? I ask you. I'm going to do the old finger wag. How much of that are you going to remember? Probably not much, because we as humans are simple individuals. We are simple beings, and we live in a material world, and in that material world, we are material girls. And what I'm saying by that is that God of War is going to be so fresh, so new. Perfect timing, November rolling around. Because that's the holiday season. Guess when the Game Awards comes on, the most publicized, commercialized video game award ceremony comes out. December 9th. A month later. A month directly from the day later. I'm telling you, Sony Santa Monica couldn't have picked a more perfect date, and I feel like they're doing a masterclass, just a masterclass in releasing this game on that date at this time. If they can hit that date, is the game finished? I think it is. I think they are just pretty much right at the alpha stage. They're doing QA, and they're making sure that everything's tightened up, all the nuts and bolts, all the pixels get smoothed out. I don't think they're just aiming in the dark for that date. I think they were trying to choose what was a good time for the company, the crew members, and the game itself, right? What better way to release this title to give your employees the holiday season off? They get their bonus from the sales of said super AAA video game. And then the game gets all the accolades. And imagine it beating out Elden Ring. A superb, gargantuan, just monumental game in itself, in its own right. These are two heavy hitters. Elden Ring did something this year that I haven't seen a video game do in a while, okay? I think it's generational. Maybe even if it's not every 10 years, it's every 5 years. But it did something that we haven't seen in a long time, and that is bridge a gap. And that gap was that the casuals decided to pick this game up because their friends were saying, if there's a game that FromSoft has made, this is probably the one you're going to want. The word of mouth spread. People started buying this game because their friends were recommending them that this game was a good title. Trust me, you'll get past all that. It doesn't matter if it's hard. This is the easiest FromSoft game. At least that's the stuff that I was hearing, right? Don't get me wrong, I bought it anyway, but I heard that outside of the channels that I normally follow. People were picking this game up that never wanted to play games of this difficulty, that didn't even want to have any kind of... They wouldn't even look in the direction if something was told with a narrative like this in the past. But they decided to pick it up, and they fell in love with it, and they all decided to platinum it, 100% it, get all the achievements, whatever. This game was a commercial success on a level that FromSoft, I don't even think, predicted that it would achieve. That is something to treasure, to talk about, to really look back at and be like, this is something that they did. This is something that we played, all of us together. We all played Elden Ring in February, and we all loved it. This game did something. It just bridged the gap into the casual mainstream audience. Now, God of War is already mainstream audience. We already know that it's tailor-made for people to pick up, see the cinematography, hear the deep voices that Kratos and now, Atreus has gone through puberty that he also has. He's also deepened his voice, a young lad. But that game is going to be also superb. I'm not taking anything away from that title. We know it's going to be great. But see, I live for this shit. I live for the competition. And I, for one, cannot wait to see when these two behemoths in the video games world meet up. We haven't seen two games of this caliber meet up head to head for a video game awards. I can't even think of a time when we saw two heavy hitters like this ever come out at the same time in this, or at least in the same year. Usually it's at the end of one year and then in the middle of, or in the beginning of the next year. And you have these two titles and everybody's complaining about it, but they can't really be compared because usually the developers try to meet windows where they don't meet up so that they can do these accolades and no game gets shit on, right? Other than what the fans are having their discussions about. But this will be the first year that I can remember that 2 badass games that we know are fantastic. I know that God of War is going to be great. But this is going to be the first time that I've ever seen 2 games of this caliber be released in the same year and go head to head in any video game awards ceremony. Multiple video game awards, wherever video game awards will be, not just the official video game award, the Game Awards. I'm talking all game awards from Metacritic to everything that's going to be happening in 2022. We're going to see it, guys. We are blessed to see this competition, this match go down. This is something that I eat up, guys. I fucking eat this shit up. You guys might not care. But for those that do, and you're on my level, shake your hand. My name is Walter Tuomi. I represent New Defected Gaming. If you didn't catch me earlier in the beginning of the stream, this is what I'm talking about. When the ball gets rolling, when we get closer to November, and then God of War is released, all our attention is going to be on God of War. We're going to run through God of War probably less than a month. And then all of a sudden we got video game awards coming out. Our attention's going to be like, whoa, I really love what Elden Ring did. I had a great time. Now, some of us are going to have bias. Some of us already have bias. Some of us only play FromSoft games. But are we going to remember the shining magic that Elden Ring brought? But then we're going to have those other fans, right? We're going to have those other fans that are just putting freaking dirt under their eyes and going like, I've been with FromSoft since the beginning. God of War is just knocking off what FromSoft does. They look at they do everything that FromSoft does. They took that entire combat system and tried to make one like ours. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be those guys, and I appreciate those guys. I'm not making fun of you. You guys, we need you guys. And I say that as we in the industry, or people that just love video games, we need you guys. You guys are the guns in the trenches. But then we need the guys that are also have a mind to stay out of that kind of fight, that go like a little bit more analytical in the sense of, okay, I like what they did here with the combat more than what they did here in this combat. And then we got the guys that are like, well, was I fighting the camera more in this game, or was I fighting the camera more in this game? There's going to be everybody on all sides of the spectrum saying what they like and did not like about both games individually. And I can't wait to hear all that stuff. I can't wait. This is all fantastic information. The things that are going to happen, right? We're looking at a metric fuck ton of information that's going to be released within the next couple of months before the release of God of War. And then you're going to have people that are still playing Elden Ring really start digging their toes into the dirt, ready to just stand by it. Probably won't even play God of War. You're going to have those guys. Those guys are the guys you can't pay attention to. Guys and girls, if you don't go out there and play God of War simply because you are the loyalist to Elden Ring, you don't have really a foot in this argument, all right? You can't hang in this one because your loyalty is so blinded, you're so tunnel visioned by your decision to go Elden Ring only that you won't even look at what God of War is going to be doing. Yeah, for sure, they might knock off some things combat-wise, but look what else they're doing. You got to give the team at Sony Santa Monica their kudos, all right? This is going to be a fantastic showdown, guys. I don't know how hyped you guys are as far as what's about to happen, what we're in for. The sales, is God of War sales going to actually outpace Elden Ring sales? Like, what? I wonder what the prediction of God of War sales are going to be. And here's the problem. Here's the other problem I have with that, is that God of War is only going to be released on the PlayStation. That's not good. That's not good for sales, especially when it's hard enough to get a PlayStation as it is. If you were one of the lucky few to grab, this is not just a controller, guys. This is not just a controller. This is connected to a PlayStation. Just trust me. See this wire right here? It's connected to a PlayStation 5, and that PlayStation 5 is going to be playing God of War. Ragnarok. What I'm trying to say is, though, that's going to affect sales, all right? That's going to affect sales from God of War being everything that it can be with the fans, with the critics, because not a lot of hands are going to be able to play it. There's going to be a few, lucky few. And remember, we don't go to our friend's house anymore. This is COVID. This is land of COVID. We don't go to our friend's house anymore. How many people are going to experience this game? Is that going to hurt God of War in the long run? Or, I'm sorry, in the short run, because that's, what we're talking about here. But we are living in, and I keep on going back to this, we are living in a world of what have you done for me lately? And in that world, newer things smell better. Newer things kind of might taste better. I might have had, let's say, Olive Garden for lunch, but I had In-N-Out for dinner. Well, I'm probably going to go, dang, this burger just hits different right now, because it's the closest thing that I have to the now, right? So even though we all might remember Elden Ring being our breakfast that we had in the beginning of the year, God of War being the most recent palate, most thing closest to our taste buds, we're going to be like, well, it's God of War. I mean, of course it was going to be great. Of course it was going to have a better told narrative. Of course it was going to have AAA actors. I mean, it's got everything. It's got the budget. It's got the studio. Of course it's going to be fantastic. No, I'm not knocking it. I'm just simply saying, in this world that we live in right now, how is this going to affect the overall stats of these two behemoths of video games? I live for this stuff. This is the stuff I love to cover. This is stuff I love to talk to you guys about. Please put your comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me your biased opinions. Tell me your unbiased opinion. Tell me your analytical brain sense of being, of what you think these games are going to accomplish individually and what they're going to accomplish together. But most importantly, tell me who you think is going to win Game of the Year 2022. My prediction for 2022 Game of the Year is going to be God of War Ragnarok. And I say that because of everything I listed previously. If you listen to me closely, you'll know why I believe that to be so. I hope this reached you, and I hope it enlightened you. I hope it entertained you. And I also know I might have pissed some of you guys off with my prediction. But my prediction isn't based off my personal feelings entirely. It's based off of what I think will happen around that time in November of this year. I think that everybody is going to remember the brand new shiny thing. And that's not taking away anything from God of War Ragnarok. But I do think it's going to influence heavily also some of the bias. I think some of these studios have a little say in who makes, Jeff Keighley, what makes Jeff Keighley move a little bit. But we'll see. At the end of the day, I don't think the Game Awards really holds a service to the sales of a video game. I think it's just pure entertainment. And I love to be entertained. And at the end of the day, that is what this is. This is an entertainment thing. This isn't going to make me go buy God of War. I'm going to buy God of War already. I've already beaten Elden Ring. I'm going to beat it 3 more times because I got 3 more endings to get. I'm going to have to you know, this isn't going to make me choose, but this is something that I have wanted to see for quite a long time, never knew that I needed, and I can't wait, and I hope that 2023 brings this same kind of fuck you energy that 2022 did. 2022 is a damn good year for video games. If you've been here before, you know what it is. If not, well, now you know. Stay dirty, humans.